Hi, class. My name is Diane, and I am coming to you from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Actually, pretty recently, I left a position at the Lancaster General Health and Penn Medicine outpatient facility that I had been at for about 2.5 years in the holistic therapy department. I was an administrator of the department, so mostly customer service and working with insurance and really directing clients to the right provider, which would have been either massage or acupuncture based on their diagnoses. So I didn't actually do any diagnosis myself, but I often help clients interpret theirs. And the majority of our patients were nurses and nurse practitioners and doctors. So what I learned through we launched our department. So I was there from its inception, and um, there was this opportunity for the one of the benefits that is offered to employees of the hospital to include almost a 90% reimbursement for massage and acupuncture to manage physical and emotional stress and chronic pain and things like that. So um, my experience with diagnoses in that context was sort of helping soften the stigma for nurses and doctors around what it meant to be seeking help and treatment for, stress and anxiety diagnoses that included things that were specifically for mental health. Um, Everyone sort of wanted to wanted to get the treatment, but maybe were like sensitive around discussing the reasons why, which makes sense. But there was a significant number of employees that were coming in with mental health diagnoses for this physical service of mostly massage to manage stress. So I thought it was interesting that it was incredibly common and frequent, and yet um, new. The first time that many of these folks who had been in high stress work environments had ever come into a department like ours, or even a salon, for example, to get physical somatic support around their mental health status. So that was really interesting, and it was a joy to see some of the stigma around these diagnoses softened as people would come in and actively get support, um, non-medication based support. So, and aside from that, I was an art educator in my previous career, and I worked with youth who had been incarcerated. They took my art classes as a way to sort of reconcile their commitments and to the government and or to the um, juvenile justice system. And many of these kids should have had mental health diagnoses, um, but instead we're sort of stuck in the cycle of um, the criminal justice system. And that was very difficult to observe and sort of have my hands tied around how I could support them beyond offering them um, art therapy, basically. So that's all for now. Thanks for listening.